A fleeting reaction from SUGA during BTS's ARIRANG World Tour has once again reminded fans why the smallest gestures from Min Yoongi can sometimes carry the biggest emotional impact. As the tour continues across international stages, ARMY are paying closer attention to the quiet expressions, subtle interactions, and unexpected details that happen between the spectacular performances. What if one of the most unforgettable SUGA moments of the ARIRANG tour was never supposed to become the headline? There was no dramatic announcement, no elaborate solo stage, no spectacular special effect designed to dominate social media. Instead, it was the kind of moment that could easily disappear beneath the noise of a massive BTS concert. A brief expression, a tiny reaction, a subtle interaction with the audience, and then the show continued. Yet somehow, fans noticed. And once ARMY began sharing the moment, the reaction became impossible to ignore. Why does SUGA have the ability to make thousands of people stop, replay a few seconds of footage, and suddenly feel as though they have discovered something deeply personal? Why do his smallest gestures often create conversations that last far longer than the moments themselves? And perhaps most importantly, what does this latest reaction reveal about the relationship between SUGA, BTS, and the audience that has waited years to see all 7 members together again? The answer may be much more complicated than a viral clip. As BTS continues its ARIRANG era and world tour, SUGA has once again demonstrated that stage presence is not always measured by the loudest movement or the biggest expression. Sometimes it is found in a glance. Sometimes it is a smile that lasts only a second. Sometimes it is simply the way an artist looks toward the crowd before returning to the performance. According to fan discussions and circulating concert footage, those small details surrounding SUGA have become a recurring source of fascination during the ARIRANG tour. Some clips have been shared because fans found his reactions unexpectedly cute, while others have attracted attention because they appear to show a more relaxed and openly expressive side of the rapper. It has not been officially confirmed that any particular brief interaction was intended to carry a deeper meaning, and interpretations naturally vary among fans. But that uncertainty may actually be part of what makes the moment so compelling. Because ARMY are watching, and they are noticing everything. The return of BTS to the global stage has always been about more than simply another concert tour. Following a long period in which the members pursued individual activities and completed their mandatory military service, the ARIRANG era represents a significant chapter in the group's history. Netflix's recap of BTS's March 2026 comeback performance described the Gwangwamun Square event as the group's first performance together in nearly 4 years following the completion of their military service, placing the return in a much larger historical context. That context matters when discussing SUGA. For an artist whose public image has often been associated with calmness, restraint, and an understated personality, his return to a full BTS stage has naturally attracted enormous attention. Fans are not merely watching him perform songs they have known for years. They are watching how he moves, how he communicates, how he reacts to the other members, how he responds to the crowd, and how his presence has evolved after such a significant period away from the group's touring environment. The ARIRANG tour therefore becomes a kind of visual conversation between BTS's past and present. Every familiar song carries memories. Every new performance creates another chapter. Every interaction between the members can feel more meaningful because fans understand how much time passed before they could experience these moments again. And in that environment, something as small as SUGA's reaction can suddenly become enormous. That is precisely why the latest fan-favorite moment has generated such attention. The fascinating part is not necessarily what SUGA did. It is the fact that fans noticed. The power of a small SUGA moment. Large-scale BTS concerts are designed to overwhelm the senses. Thousands of lights illuminate stadiums. Giant screens project the members onto massive displays. Music travels through enormous sound systems. Choreography transforms the stage from one performance space into an entire visual universe. Fans sing, scream, wave light sticks, and record moments on their phones. In such an environment, subtle gestures should theoretically disappear. But with SUGA, that does not always happen. A single camera angle can transform a barely noticeable expression into the most discussed moment of the night. A tiny smile can become a fan favorite. A quick glance toward another member can trigger countless interpretations. A seemingly ordinary reaction can suddenly appear on timelines around the world. This phenomenon is not entirely new. SUGA has spent years developing a stage identity built on contrast. His performances can be intense and commanding, yet his off-stage personality is often perceived by fans as quiet, dryly humorous, and understated. That contrast makes his spontaneous reactions particularly powerful. When an artist who is usually restrained suddenly breaks into a genuine smile, fans notice. When he looks visibly amused by something happening around him, fans notice. The smallness of the gesture becomes the attraction. Recent online fan video collections have highlighted exactly this type of reaction, including clips described as SUGA becoming shy after enthusiastic fan responses, and another in which a fan's light stick gesture reportedly prompted a visibly bashful reaction. These are fan-generated interpretations rather than official BTS statements, so they should be viewed as audience reactions rather than definitive explanations of SUGA's intentions. Nevertheless, the scale of attention demonstrates something important. ARMY are not watching only the main performance. They are watching the spaces between performances. ARIRANG is bigger than a concert. To understand why these moments matter, it is necessary to understand the emotional environment surrounding BTS's return. ARIRANG is not simply another title attached to another album cycle. The project arrived after years of anticipation and separation, giving the group's comeback an emotional weight that would have been difficult to reproduce under ordinary circumstances. The March 2026 comeback performance at Gwangwon Square was framed as a historic homecoming. BTS opened with Body to Body, the first track from the ARIRANG album, and the event carried the symbolic significance of the 7 members standing together again after nearly 4 years apart. That history followed them onto the world tour. For longtime ARMY, seeing SUGA standing beside RM, Jin, J-Hope, Jimin, V and Jungkook is itself an emotional event. The audience knows what came before. They remember the earlier eras. They remember the final performances before military enlistment interrupted the group's regular activities. They remember solo projects, individual schedules, uncertainty, and years of waiting. Now the members are together again. That makes every ordinary moment extraordinary. A simple smile can carry the emotional memory of years. A glance toward another member can remind fans of countless older performances. A moment of laughter can feel like evidence that the familiar chemistry has returned. And when SUGA is at the center of one of those moments, the response can be immediate. SUGA's quiet personality makes the difference. One reason SUGA's smallest reactions attract such attention is that fans have long understood that he does not need to dominate every second of a performance. He does not have to be the loudest person on stage. He does not need to constantly seek the camera. His appeal often comes from the opposite approach. There is a sense of economy in his expressions. When he reacts, fans may instinctively ask why. When he smiles, they want to know what caused it. When he suddenly becomes playful, the contrast makes the moment memorable. This is especially noticeable during a long world tour. A concert is not a single emotional state. It is a constantly changing environment. There are moments of intense choreography, moments of singing, moments of talking, moments of improvisation, and moments when the members simply react to one another. Those unscripted fragments can reveal personalities more effectively than highly rehearsed sequences. That does not mean every facial expression has a hidden message. In fact, responsible reporting requires the opposite conclusion. A look is a look unless the person involved explains otherwise. A smile is a smile unless there is evidence of what caused it. A gesture can be interpreted by fans, but interpretation should not be presented as fact. That distinction becomes particularly important in an era where short videos can travel globally within minutes. A 3-second clip can be removed from its original context, reposted with a dramatic caption, and viewed by millions of people who never saw the full performance. Suddenly, an ordinary moment becomes a story. And SUGA, perhaps more than many performers, demonstrates how powerful that process can be. The fan camera changes everything. The modern concert experience is partly shaped by thousands of unofficial cameras. Fans record performances from different angles. Some capture the main stage. Others focus on individual members. some record interactions that are invisible from the opposite side of the stadium. That creates a second version of a concert. There is the official performance, designed and produced by BTS's team. Then there is the fan-recorded performance, assembled collectively by the audience. The second version can sometimes reveal details that the official broadcast does not emphasize.